Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Lindsay Wagner brought the character of Jamie Summers to life on March 16, 1975, in a two-part episode of the television series The $6 Million Man. It was an effort to combat sinking ratings and entice a female audience. The production team of $6 Million Man chose a temporary love interest as a plot line. In the two-part episode entitled The Bionic Woman, Colonel Steve Austin returns to his hometown in California, where he is reunited with his high school sweetheart, who's now a tennis pro by the name of Jamie Summers. This rekindled romance is brought to a complete stop when Jamie's body is ravaged by a skydiving accident. Steve Austin pleads with the head of the Office of Scientific Intelligence, Oscar Goldman, and he agrees to make Jamie the world's second bionic human being, replacing both legs, her right arm, and her right ear with groundbreaking bioelectronic prosthesis. But in the end, Jamie's body rejects the bionic replacements, and we are left with Steve saying goodbye to her, dead on the operating room table. After this happened, no one could anticipate the public reaction to the death of this character. Letters poured into ABC, expressing total outrage. After all this, the network realized that something had to be done, and a decision was then reached that Jamie Summers must somehow be resurrected. The use of New Age cryogenic freezing kept Jamie safe while surgeons worked to repair and revive her. She was then brought back to life in the second part of this episode, The Return of the Bionic Woman. The studio then had to face another hurdle. Lindsay Wagner was gone doing other things. Quite a few other actresses were thought about and really considered for the role to replace her. But it was Lindsay Wagner that the executives really wanted. And after some landmark and record-breaking contract negotiations, they finally got her. Much of the storylines for the show come out of a direct result of Wagner's negotiation to play this role. She wanted Jamie Summers not to ever carry a gun, that her bionics were to be used for defensive measures against people only, and each episode needed to tell a story that people could learn from. The series made television history by being the first show to actively participate with its parent show in crossover episodes on a regular basis. Along with this, Richard Anderson as Oscar Goldman and Martin E. Brooks as Dr. Rudy Wells became the first two actors to play the same character on two different TV shows full-time, and in the very end, on two different networks as well. Jamie Summers' bionic surgical implants were similar to those of the $6 Million Man. She's fitted with an amplified bionic right ear, which allows her to hear at low volumes and at various frequencies over uncommonly long distances. She also has extraordinary strength in her bionic right arm and in both legs that enable her to jump great distances and run at speeds exceeding 60 miles per hour. She's then assigned to secret missions as an occasional agent for the Office of Scientific Intelligence. Despite having a relatively short run, the show proved highly popular worldwide, gaining solid ratings in the U.S. and particularly so in the U.K. It ran for 3 total seasons from 1976 to 1978, first on ABC and then on NBC for the final season. To maintain the show's plausibility, executive producer Kenneth Johnson set very specific limits on Jamie's abilities in the series. He felt that when you were dealing with the area of fantasy, that it's pretty easy for things to get completely out of control on what she can do. So they really limited the things that she could accomplish. Things like she can jump down 3 stories, but not 4. She can't turn over a truck, but she can turn over a car. These limits were occasionally incorporated into the storyline of the episodes, such as an episode that was called Kill Oscar, in which Jamie is forced to make a jump that she knows is too far down for her bionic legs, causing massive damage to them and nearly causing her death as a result. When the series changed from ABC to NBC, Lee Majors was no longer guest starred on the show because he was still under contract to ABC. And since he was the main character, ABC would not allow the crossover, and vice versa with Lindsay Wagner. The bionic jump action sequences, performed by Lindsay Wagner's stunt double, a lady named Rita Eggleston, were of her jumping backwards onto an inflated bag below, landing feet first. This was filmed at 60 frames per second and then reversed. Maximilian, the bionic dog, that's featured in the 3rd season, was so named because it cost $1 million to make him. Max was played by several German shepherds. In one episode, they needed a dog that wasn't afraid of fire. And in another one, they wanted the animal to lay and allow you to pet him or lay in front of the food without being tempted to eat it. They also needed one that was trained to get on a treadmill. During the first year of the show, Lindsay Wagner was the driver in a car accident with her then boyfriend, actor Michael Brandon. Brandon almost lost an eye, and Wagner received a severe cut on the right side of her upper lip, which left a small but permanent visible scar. The event halted production of the show for 2 weeks in order to give Wagner some much-needed time to recuperate. Wagner went on to retire her bionic implants after 3 seasons, but she almost never got to enjoy her post-Bionic Woman success. In May of 1979, almost exactly a year after the last episode aired, she was scheduled to fly on the ill-fated American Airlines Flight 191 from Chicago to Los Angeles. She felt ill and decided to take a different flight. That original plane crashed on takeoff and today remains the deadliest single aircraft aviation disaster that happened in the U.S. Everybody thought that she had been on that flight, and they were all quite relieved when they found out that she wasn't. Take a look back at this fun show from the 70s. It's really a good one to watch. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.